This is episode 173 of Zen and the Art of Real Estate Investing with my guest, Jack Bosch. Jack is an experienced business owner, entrepreneur, real estate investor, and respected industry leader. He is the author of the best-selling financial literacy book, Forever Cash, and the creator of Land Profit Generator, which I know we're going to talk about. Him and Michelle have sold and purchased over 4,000 properties since 2008. So they have been at it for a while. Jack, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, me too. And I always like to start with the story because you came to America in 1997 with not much, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So I'm obviously I won't even pretend that I'm born and raised in the U.S. You can tell by my accent that I'm not. I am from Germany originally, from southern Germany, a small town, like 10,000 people. Dad's a high school teacher there, or retired now. My mom is a stay-at-home mom and still working as stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
I born and raised over there. Went to college over there. For my final year of college, I had the opportunity to do an exchange program with an American university, and basically said, like, you know what? Let me do that. That sounds like a great idea to improve my English, which at the time was okay, but not really good.
Yeah.
And get an American degree on top of it. So it sounded like a perfect combination. I had my job lined up in Germany. I had everything lined up. I just subleased my apartment. Well, and now I'm here 27 years. So I just never left. And decided to stay here. Met my wife here, who is an immigrant from Honduras, Central America. So we basically said, you know what, let's give this love a chance and let's see how this works. And we both got lucky. We both got jobs in the US after being in college for a year. Still today, it's the same thing. You get a work permit for 1 year. And ideally, you want to look for a company that can sponsor your green card at that point. It can sponsor the further leading visas. And then from that point of view, you work your way through the system until you hopefully, in time, before your visas expire, get your green card. In my case, it took 5.5 years. I got my green card. Now we're both American citizens. We're married 23 years and rest is history.
So you bought your first house as a personal residence. And then how long after that did you start investing, and what did you invest in after that?
So we bought our house in 2001 and we got married in 2001. So I basically thought, like, traditional values kind of guy. If I'm marrying, I want to make sure that my wife can come into our own home. And it was a starter home, cost $151,000, 3% down, and interest rate was 7% at the time. So $1,100 a month payment, which we paid almost the same for rent at the time, or like $200 less. So it wasn't that much of a jump. And then we didn't buy any other houses till 2009. But what we got into was actually, we dabbled in all kinds of real estate stuff. We started buying tax liens and they were paid off. We heard about this tax delinquent kind of world with tax liens, tax deeds. And we got outbid at many auctions, went to California and took a day vacation, drove over to California, live in Arizona. And attended the tax deed auction, and everything went up way beyond our ability to buy. We got a junker under contract and wanted to wholesale it, and knew nothing about cost off rehab. I didn't know. I mean, again, coming from Germany, different way to construct, and from Honduras, different way to do everything. The roofs are different, the walls are different, the foundation is different. So it's a completely different way of building. So I had no idea whether it costs $30,000 to rehab a kitchen or $3,000 or anything in between. So we estimated everything wrong. We couldn't sell that thing. We had to back out of the contract. But then little by little, through some trial and error, we came across, first thing was a piece of land in a small community a few hours outside of Phoenix that the seller just had gone through a divorce, and it was a piece of land, it was an acre with houses all around, and the seller just didn't want it anymore. He basically he associated it in his mind with his ex-wife, and with the fights they had over what they wanted to build there and whatever. And it's just like, I can't even think about that thing. I don't even want it anymore. Kind of irrational, but normal, like it happens in this world.
Yeah.
And so he's like, give me whatever you want. So I offered him $400 for that piece of land, which we figured out Well, we didn't have to estimate repairs, so that was simpler. We didn't even have to go see it. We looked at a satellite picture, and it looked fine. And we saw that in the neighborhood, some lots had sold for $8,000 to $10,000. So we just gave him $400, and he accepted it. Then we drove up there. Once we bought it, put a sign on there, and the next door neighbor, literally on the spot, bought it from us for $4,000. And that's like not $1 million deal, but it's a 10x deal. And
I think, yeah,
$600 was the equivalent of what I was making in my job in a month.
Jack, if people want to get into your program, do they go to landprofitgenerator.com?
They can, or another way is I have a little link that they can go to. It's called Land Profit Fun. Fun with F-U-N, like having fun, like landprofitfun.com. They can go, and from there they can download a PDF. I think that's a 30-day blueprint, which literally lays out what we just talked about, how the acquisition works, disposition works, how you set it up over a 30-day period, how to start your own land business, and it's 100% for free. Or they can also go to my YouTube channel. This is Jack Bosch, and there is a 7-part video series where I explain a little bit more detail how it all works. Either way.
Yeah, awesome. And are those avenues the best places to get in touch with you?
Yes, absolutely. I think Land Profit Fun is the best way to get in touch with us and find out more about what we do.
Yeah, awesome. I just think it's the most accessible asset out there. So for those people who are struggling figuring out, hey, I want to get into investing, I don't have a ton of money to do it, I have a little bit of time, this just seems like a good fit.
Yeah, I agree. But of course, I'm always going to say that because I love it. We've done 5,000 deals. It's been really good to us. I set the foundation for additional wealth by being able to roll the profits from the land flipping over into other asset classes and allow us to buy several hundred units of multifamily apartments, single families, commercial property, and really set us up as a family for generational wealth for our daughter. That I would have never thought that would ever have happened when we were just frustrated in our jobs, trying to find a way out of that. And when we came across the first land deal for $400, we never thought, like, as you said, the $4,000, the fact that we only made $3,600 in profits, nothing. It proved the concept, and it showed that this is possible and that we can do it again and again and again and again. And then soon enough, we made 6 figures on deals, and life completely changed.
Where did that first land deal come from? Were you doing off-market marketing, or did somebody just get you to that deal?
So the way we discovered the strategy was that we came across tax lien and tax deed investing. And we basically we attended tax deed auctions and we were outbid. Then we attended tax lien auctions. We bought like 5 liens, and then 3 weeks later, they were all paid off. And we're like, well, that's not the way. So
that didn't work out.
Yeah, that didn't work out well. So we had a thought, and the thought was, we looked at the data and we saw like that, for example, in California, when properties come up for auction, they're on average 6 years tax delinquent, because it takes 5 years before that property, before the county even issues a right to sell, goes to court, gets a right to sell, and then they schedule it up for auction, which usually takes another 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
So typically it's 6 years before a property comes up for auction. So in other words, now it's 2024. The properties that California brings up for a tax deed auction, those people stopped paying taxes in 2018. So the next question here in thought was like, well, if somebody really decided that they don't want this property anymore, why do we have to wait until it has 6 years worth of back taxes? Why do we have to wait until it has publicly announced that it's coming up for auction? You have this competition. Couldn't we just try to figure out who these people are? And if we get it right, shouldn't there be a few people in that group that basically have simply said, I don't want this thing anymore, and they're willing to take a low offer on that? And that's what we did. And that's what we did. Well, first in Arizona, we basically contacted the county. And at the time, you could not just go to a data source and download tax delinquent data. Now you can. But back then, you had to do it the hard way. You had to literally go to the county, meet with the tax collector, ask him for the list of data, then meet with the tax assessor, ask him to merge the data together.
Yeah.
The assessor had the tax information, the tax collector has the tax information, the assessor has the mailing address, and then combine those two, take that home on a CD, put it in your laptop, extract it, and then send out letters to them. And that's what that's the idea we came up of marketing to tax delinquent property owners. And we didn't have a plan to only go after land. We went after everyone there, but strangely, only the people with land responded.